again, everyone. Age of Dune here, and we're back with another League of Legends solo player shoutcast. This particular one was actually requested in the previous video. Again, if you guys have any requests of people you want to see, let me know, and let me know if you want it to be a solo shoutcast or just an all-around shoutcast. But the person in question asked for a Syndra main, and I actually didn't know of any streamers or anything that were Syndra mains, but luckily, Google came to my rescue. So I did find a post from somebody on the EU West League of Legends forum saying, hey, I'm a Syndra main, and talking, just ask if you want anything. So I went ahead and just checked that person out, went to op.gg, and saw that he is actually still a Syndra main, as he has a lot, or she, whatever, has a lot of Syndra games. So I wanted to go ahead and cast that. Luckily for me, it is also the newest Syndra skin, the Atlantean Syndra, which I don't even remember seeing, but yeah, there it is. So that's kind of cool, and I'm more than happy to go ahead and see that. I chose this one out of the games there. For one thing, only 3 or 4 had replays, and out of these, the other one was a brand game, which I wasn't really all that interested in. Honestly, I could see Brand just utterly being destroyed by Syndra because he doesn't have mobility. I wanted to see how this person would handle Katarina, because Katarina, of course, is ridiculously good at dodging Syndra spells, and I kind of want to see how this person manages to go ahead and counter that. So I chose this video, and hopefully it'll be entertaining. Again, definitely let me know if you have anybody you want to see. If you have a specific player and champion combo, I'm more than happy to do it. If you ask me something, just, a ex-champion main, it's a little bit more difficult, but if I do have anything that I can find on the internet about a person who's maining that champion, which I likely will be able to, I'll be more than happy to go ahead and do so. I don't know if this particular person has a stream or not, but I don't think so. I haven't seen anything about it. So we'll go ahead and take a look at what everybody is while we're just kind of watching the early CSing starts. We've got a Riven top, played by Exorius. The top lane for the red team is going to be Ranhai, playing the Shyvana. Mid lane, of course, like I said, we've got Caladobolg, playing the Syndra, versus Kung Fu Raccoon, as the Katarina. Bot lane, we've got Lucian, played by Liesu, and Blues, playing Twitch. The support's going to be Braum, playing Please Wonder Boy, versus Logical, playing the Morgana. And finally, we've got the junglers, Olaf, interestingly, played by Dominic Dodge, versus the Lee Sin, played by Nuana. So we'll have to take a look at it. If you look at the starting items, unsurprisingly, the Syndra did actually start with a Doran's ring, and that's pretty common on Syndra. It gives her the extra power, and of course it gives her a little bit more mana sustain, which is really, really important for Syndra, because she spends a lot of mana with her abilities. Thunders. So yeah, not doing too poorly. If we look at the CS, she's actually tied with Katarina. It's somewhat surprising given the fact that Katarina is melee, but at the same time, you've got to keep in mind that she does have the dodge ability of those. She can dodge out the abilities, but you can go ahead and auto attack. So I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen as much auto attacking onto Katarina as I would think. By the way, just so anybody who is wondering, these people are actually Diamond. I took a look at that as well when I was factoring in the games. This particular game, the Katarina is Diamond 1, and Syndra is also Diamond 1. The only one who is not Diamond, actually, entire blue team is Diamond 1. And the red team is Diamond 1 except for Riven and Lucian. I do kind of want to follow Katarina right here because Riven's not really doing too much. Syndra did actually get shoved in here, which is a pretty big deal. And that allowed the Katarina to go ahead and roam. That is one thing you want to watch. If you are getting shoved, expect your lane opponent to roam. And she is indeed doing so. We already saw First Blood go there. And now Olaf has to get out of this because he's kind of in a little bit of a dangerous position. He is actually going to get out. And Syndra amazingly did not come to help him at all, which kind of surprised me. That is a double kill down bottom for Lucian, which is a great sign for Syndra and her team. Again, I'm really surprised she didn't come over and help this. I guess she figured it was a decent time to go back. She is almost 10 CS ahead, and this actually did allow her to get her tier. But I would have figured she'd go there to help the Olaf in case he needed it. I guess she does trust him and decided that he doesn't need help. So I guess that is what ended up going here. But she is back to lane now. The Katarina did not head back. She's still sitting here with boots. She did start with those boots, which means that she's even better at dodging these Syndra abilities, which is kind of unfortunate for Syndra. And we do actually kind of see Syndra going off and, in addition to harassing, just shoving this lane a bit, just to make it a little bit harder for Katarina to do that roam. Because that's really important, especially with somebody like Katarina, who, if she gets fed, is ridiculously deadly. So you want to make sure to at least try to shove the lane some, so she can't get that roam on. Because yet again, it kind of looked like she was going to start roaming there, but it looks like she changed her mind. And Syndra is actually, I believe, a little ahead on XP, yes? Yeah, not far. But one thing you want to try to do is to try to get that level before Katarina, because you can do a lot of damage. She did not manage to land the stun, but Katarina is getting really low. Again, I'm surprised that we're not seeing more shoving here from the Syndra to make sure that doesn't happen, because, you know, Syndra is ridiculously good at harassing, just with auto attacks, a Katarina off lane. And if she's not going to be harassing, I would expect her to shove under the tower to make it a little harder for the Katarina to farm. If, you know, she was able to harass the Katarina and just keep her low and everything, then I would expect that she would not be shoving, because then you'd want the Katarina to be forced to come out, because you can go ahead and get those harassments off and just punish her for any CS. But in this case, she's really doing neither. There we go. Nice stun there. In she goes. A lot of damage coming out, and it looks like the Morgana does end up going down. Twitch escapes, but the Morgana does not, and Syndra's going to walk out of that with an assist, and she should be able to get back to lane without losing too much CS. She lost one there. She's actually going to come across the Katarina fairly shortly here. No, Katarina turned back. She lost that entire wave, but it was for an assist, which, it's not too bad, you know? So she's not going to lose too much. And, you know, the gap is actually still back to just that 10. So, all in all, she ended up coming out about even. She got a little ahead earlier, but I'd say this is worth it. Nice stun there, and she's 6. She's not going to go for the kill, though. She doesn't actually have the mana, I believe, to go for that kill. So she's just going to go ahead and do more harass. Another kill lands up top as that Olaf gank turns into a successful kill. And we do see the Syndra going to go ahead and head back now. She went ahead and shoved this out, which is pretty important before you go back. But at the same time, Katarina's pretty decent at shoving it right back again. And we see the Katarina doing just that. She knows that the Syndra was headed back, so she wanted to go ahead and just shove this as hard as possible to make Syndra lose this. One thing you do want to think about, a lot of times you'll see like the pros, they won't go back if there's a cannon minion. Because those cannon minions do give the increased money and everything. So a lot of times you'll see them skip going back for that wave and then go back the next wave, and it is not worth quite as much. So we did not see the Syndra go for that. She went back and got her chalice, which is going to help her quite a bit. I actually don't think that tier is a fairly common item in NA. I don't know if this is just an EU thing or if it's just something I haven't paid attention to. Either way, she has actually gone for that. She's coming in for the gank again. There's a teleport coming in. Twitch is actually forced back. In comes the Katarina. She is ulting there. And Braum's going to block a lot of it. The stuns come out, but in comes Lee Sin as well. And I think this Lucian's going to be dead. That ended up turning into a 4 versus 3 really quickly. And, I mean, the blue team had no idea there's no wards here at all. I don't blame Syndra for going for that at all, as, you know, to the best of her knowledge. Oh, she's going to take this down. Yeah. Oh, nice black shield. Not going to be enough. But it was a really well-timed black shield there from Morgana. Question is, will Syndra be able to get the kill here? No, she's going to go ahead and back off, as I expect she expects the Katarina is coming. And indeed, the Katarina did come. She's just going in, getting her balls ready. And getting ready to hopefully survive a dive. Nice dodge there, as well as the stun. And he goes down to the Syndra, and she actually flashes in for the kill. Wasn't necessary. but it does actually force these guys to fall back. So that was a really good stun by her, landing that stun and pumping him right into there, which is still within range of that tower. And that right there is what really turned that around. He missed his Q. Oh, nice dodge by the Katarina. Missed his Q, and she aimed it just right. Had it aimed just a little bit further, he would have been punted out of range of the tower. He wouldn't have died. She wouldn't have gotten killed either, but she wouldn't have gotten that kill. So that kill is pretty important for her. And we see she's now coming back to lane with a Fiendish Codex, working on her Unholy Grail, Athene's Unholy Grail. So we'll probably see that coming out pretty quickly here. And she is just clearing this wave now. She's got a decent amount of mana sustain as well as a lot of mana just alone. So she is actually able to do this a whole lot better. And we see yet another kill coming in on that Twitch down bottom. Things are not going well for them at all. It's raining pretty hard at my house at the moment. On the plus side, I've got an up, so even if I lose power, I don't even care. Because, you know, I won't actually lose power for my computer. Anyway, we do actually see her kind of roaming up here. Probably just going to put a ward over here. Fairly common thing. Yeah, that's... No, she's not. Interesting. No, she doesn't even have a ward. So she actually is doing a full-on roam here. These guys are in a little bit of trouble, but now in comes the Syndra. And this is about to turn this way around. Olaf is doing his best to keep them occupied. In goes the Shyvana. Able to get those 2 kills, but there is a stun there from Syndra. Out comes her ulti, and down goes the Shyvana. Is Syndra going to be able to finish off the Lee Sin? I believe so. Yes! And she is actually going to go down to Katarina in the meantime. Nicely followed there by the Katarina. Gonna force this whole wave into the tower, so that entire wave is going to be lost to the blue team. No money or XP for you. Good follow there by the Katarina. Not able to save her allies, so it was a double kill for... Well, technically a triple kill. Or three kills for the red team, and 2 kills for the blue team. But speaking as mid laners only, Syndra definitely came out of that one ahead. And she may be able to use that to her advantage to go ahead and get more kills. And there's a ward coming out from the Katarina. Again, we've already seen her ward that because she knows that the Syndra likes to roam this way. So she knows that is a good way to go ahead and pick up that roam. So she could either choose to follow, shove the wave, or just completely ignore it and hope her allies were actually prepared. Which last time it happened, even though it was pinged and everything, they were not prepared and they ended up going down to it. But they could hope that it actually is not the case this time. That was a nice skin. I do actually remember seeing that one now, come to think of it. I kind of forgot it existed though, but yeah, I like the little balls of water and everything. They're very pretty. If I played Syndra, this is probably a skin that I would consider getting, just because it would look very nice. Again, I'm surprised by how far back this Syndra is playing. I guess that, you know, Katarina is actually pretty dangerous right now, but honestly, I feel like Syndra's even more dangerous. So, is her ult up? Her ult is up. So, I would definitely have expected her to go ahead and go for that bully, but she actually is not. Brahm's going to go ahead and get rid of that pink ward. They're going for the dragon here. They've got to watch out, though, because Katarina is really good at AoE. And they are going for the dragon. The Olaf's getting a little low, but it's not going to be too big of a deal. He managed to just go ahead and secure that. The question is, are they going to get this pink ward? Yes, Braum went ahead and secured that. Syndra's on her way back mid. Not going to lose much of the CS. Nice grab there from the Morgana, but it didn't end up working out. Ooh, nicely played by her. She knew that if she didn't do that, then of course the minion would have died to the tower before she was able to get the CS. So she just grabbed it and said, alright, you will be my weapon. One of the interesting things about Syndra. Alright, so if we look at her lane opponent right now, while we're waiting for her to go grab that blue, Katarina's sitting here with Sorcerer's Shoes, Amplifying Tome, and a Ruby Crystal, versus a fully completed Unholy Grail, a Tear the Goddess with how many stacks? 355. So she's a bit under halfway there, but that's not too bad given the fact that, you know, it is this early in the game. And as well as the Dorans and Boots of Speed, of course. She's getting back into lane again, just in time to ensure that the minions do not die. And she's actually going to let Katarina go back. Katarina's going back right now with 1,700 gold. If we look at the actual gold totals, Syndra is actually 1,400 gold up on her enemy, which is a very large part of why I'm so surprised to see Syndra playing so passively. But I don't know, maybe she's been waiting for the right moment because... Oh, she's going to go ahead and follow this. Nope, Riven's going to go down. Not going to follow. Maybe I just have the matchup wrong, and maybe Katarina is stronger than I thought. I mean, yes, she's good at dodging the Qs and everything, so I guess that's a very large part of it. But even still, I would think if Syndra manages to land a stun, which is exactly what she's trying to do here. She put her Q down, gonna go ahead and land the stun, puts it right onto the Katarina, not gonna go for the ulti though. And Katarina is gonna get out of this. Katarina came back to lane with a needlessly large rod, which... We look at the actual magic damage, 121 versus 136. Ability power wise, Katarina's actually ahead. And a large part of that comes from the fact that Syndra does have to start with that Athene's Unholy Grail for mana. So it puts her actual AP behind. Come to think of it, that is probably why she's being so passive. She's got Athene's Unholy Grail, which, I mean, it does give somewhat respectable ability power. It's not nearly as much as you'd like. And her other item, of course, is the Tear of the Goddess, which also no ability power. So she's probably waiting to really go for it until she's got a decent amount of AP, which we may see soon enough. Olaf actually going for this. Gotta watch out though, because the Katarina is there. Syndra was coming in case he needed help. Decided he didn't though, and indeed he did not. But there we go. They're going for him now, and Katarina wasn't actually able to do too much damage. And Syndra was able to shove this up to the tower. While the Olaf is keeping them occupied, Syndra is going for this tower. I think that she may be able to get this before they're able to react. Lee Sin coming in, but he comes across the Olaf, and down goes that tower. That is the second tower kill of the game, as bot lane is just dominating the red team. There we go. She's back, just farming up the wave again. And Katarina is forced to play fairly cautiously here, just because of the fact that, you know, the Olaf has been seen so many times recently. She's got to watch out for it. Looks like Syndra is roaming yet again. Saw the Lee Sin there and immediately started heading down. The Braum's getting pretty low. Lucian is probably going to die. He does indeed die. And there we go. In comes the Syndra and the Olaf. Nice stun. There she goes. Out comes the ulti. Lands on the Twitch. Doesn't finish him off quite yet. But the Braum was actually able to secure that. The Olaf got the Lee Sin. And that told Syndra, hey, time to head back to mid. Because there's no way you're catching that Morgana. But a very nice stun indeed landed by that Syndra. Came in and just straight off the bat landed it. Saved Braum's life and secured 2 of those kills. Well, managed to help them get those 2 kills, I should say. Didn't really secure them, as that would imply that she got the kill. Which she did not. Missed that stun, however. Again, it's against the Katarina, not really too surprised, and she's really making up for it in her other lanes. You see her roaming a lot, and I'd say that's in large part because of the fact that she knows that Katarina is, you know, hard as a Syndra. It's hard to land those skill shots, it's hard to do all that stuff. So I'd say that is in large part why she's roaming so very much. Just getting the other lanes fed and getting herself fed through people she can actually do so to. So that is probably why she's doing it. She is coming back to lane now with that Archangel Staff, which is going to give her a lot of AP. If we actually look at her AP now, she's at 237, which definitely puts her ahead of Katarina, who still has 142. Katarina's roaming top now against this Riven. Riven's going to lose her tower finally, but I mean, that's not too big of a deal. Braum and Syndra are both pushing down here. Kind of surprised to see Lucian this far forward, given the fact that his Braum is not there. And Lee Sin's coming in for the gank as well. That's probably about to be a dead Lucian. But Syndra seems to be coming down here to help. She sees the action going on here. Lucian's actually not dead yet. Braum comes in to go ahead and stop that ulti there from Twitch. Lucian is trying his best to get out. Nice pop-up from Braum. And the ulti comes out from Lucian. Morgana Q does not land, but we still have Shyvana and Katarina both on their way down. Braum is doing his best to get out of this. Syndra's just kind of setting up. She's putting balls around so she can go ahead and stun if need be. I don't know if it's going to matter. In they go. Nice dodge by Katarina, though. And Syndra gets kicked out. She does go ahead and flash. I think she flashed, yeah? Yeah, she did flash, but she still ended up going down. That's a very nice play for the red team, and it did actually result in all of those blue team members dying. Yeah, Yeah, Syndra actually died right here. Flashed back under the tower, but it was too late. The Katarina, of course, was able to get that reset off of Lucian, and she was just able to carry that through for the rest. In the meantime, though, on the plus side for the blue team, Riven was able to go ahead and shove this up as the Shyvana spent all that time just running all the way down. So that is a definite plus for the blue team, given the fact that they just lost so very much down bottom. Red team has actually almost caught up. And if we look at the gold totals here, 6,200 to 75. So it's still a 1,300 gold difference. Syndra is definitely still ahead of Katarina in this. But again, still going to be... Oh, nice. She landed that stun. Did a decent amount of damage to Katarina there. Not going to be enough to kill her quite yet, but it's definitely going to hurt the Katarina. If we look at the CS, we actually have a 30 CS difference. And she came back to lane, of course, with Ionian Boots of Lucidity. Actually, that's not really of course to me. A lot of times you see mid laners go with something more like, you know, the Sorcerer's Shoes to go ahead and get that magic pen. But it looks like she's actually going for Ionian to go ahead and get that CDR. And she got the Alacrity for increased movement speed, which I do actually agree with. Given how much she has been roaming, that is actually a really good way for her to get down there fast and back fast. Because that's been a pretty big deal so far. The less experience less stuff she loses while running down there, the better. And what we're seeing her now do is actually just stock up her tier. Did not land the stun there. Dodged by the Katarina. And she's probably going to head down here for the Lucian. Braum Q does not land. There we go. She's putting the balls out there to go ahead and land the stun if need be. There we go. She does land the stun. Lands the slow and the ult as well. And Lee Sin just melts there. That ball was actually used for that as well, which is a really good play on her. Putting the ball there and then just putting more balls all around. The more balls, of course, you have, the more damage you do. So putting those around was actually a pretty good move. I'm kind of surprised to see her not plant those, or get rid of the pink ward there, but I'd imagine we'll probably see that fairly shortly. Yeah, she is indeed doing so. I think she was coming in for a kill, and, you know, when you're coming in for the kill, go ahead and leave the pink ward, get the pink ward on your way back, because you know it's there. But in this case, didn't end up happening, and she is just continuing to rack up her tier stacks there. She now has the Seraph's Embrace, though, so that is no longer necessary. We'll probably see her stop spamming the Qs on nothing, and only use it to go ahead and wave clear. Which, of course, Syndra does really well. And yeah, we don't see her spamming the Q nearly as much anymore. Just going ahead, using it to go ahead and get CS, monsters, everything else. So, we'll probably see a lot of that. I don't know when we'll see the Rabadons come in. Probably pretty soon, I would imagine. She's currently sitting on 1,600 gold. So, my guess is that we'll see her go back pretty soon to go ahead and go for that measly large rod. And what I believe she's doing there is just setting up balls, because her ult is back up now. So she's setting up the balls so that if somebody was in that bush and they got to engage, oh, nice jump there from the Katarina, then she would have been able to go ahead and put a lot of damage on them very quickly, because she just has those balls just lying in wait. She's got the mana to do it, so why not? She doesn't tend to do it when, you know, there's not enemies around, but when she's coming in for enemies, we see her getting that ready. We'll probably see her cast the first Q fairly quickly here. Comes in. Oh, tries to guess where the Twitch is. Not going to get it, though. Twitch is going to get stunned by that. Puts that down, and there's her ult, and he does actually melt to that. Nice stun there. She reacted almost instantly. As soon as he came out of stealth, out came her stun. She put the Q between her and him, instantly stunned him, and then used that to go ahead and land the slow, followed immediately after by that ulti, which just decimates him. Did so well there. She does not have the ulti up now, so she's got to watch out. Lee Sin going in. Landed the stun on him there, so that's definitely good. In comes Shyvana. Lands the slow on Shyvana, though. And out comes the culling from Lucian, which is definitely doing a lot of damage to them, forcing them back. Nobody has died yet. There is the Braum ulti. Nice stun, and that is a deadly Sin. Very nice stun indeed. Landing that, I believe, max range. And they're going to be able to shove this now, as they were able to go ahead and take a lot of those down. The Katarina took a lot of damage there, and she's got to watch out. They may be able to get this tower. I believe they will. And it looks like they are actually going for it. We see Syndra yet again getting those balls placed there because her ult is back up again. And that thing is a ridiculously low cooldown. 54 seconds, so yeah. I mean, they hadn't really technically finished the fight, and her ult was already back off cooldown. So I definitely say that CDR is it's probably paying off for her. She's coming back to lane now with 2,600 gold. And she is not actually going back. Going in on the Katarina. Again, not choosing... Oh, man. Katarina, one more. I'm kind of surprised to not see an ult there. I definitely expected her to just go ahead and take the Katarina down. We don't see any magic resist on her, do we? No, but we do see Zhonya's. And that right there is probably what did that. I didn't notice that before, but the... Katarina does have that zone. Oh, is she going to do this? Oh, nice dodge there. Dodges that Braum, and she dodges that and dodges that. Very nice indeed. In comes the Shyvana going for this. Morgana and Lee Sin as well. And yeah, that is a dead Syndra. She got caught out there. She's going to die. Nice flank by the red team there. And of course, there's the Zhonya's right there. That right there is the reason I believe that the Syndra did not go for it. She did not want to go ahead and try to take down that Katarina if she didn't have her stun. And she did enough damage with her previous stun that she was going to be able to do it the next stun, but you don't want to go for it when you know that the enemy has that item up, because she would have just immediately Zhonya's as soon as she saw the balls flying to her, and that would have been a wasted Syndra ulti. Oh, Riven going in, and she's just going to instantly die there. Not a good plan on her part. Syndra is now back alive. She did buy when she was back. She actually got a Banshee's Veil. I'm kind of surprised by how heavy she's going into non-DPS items. I kind of expected more in the way of AP. Hey, whatever works for you, though. I guess that she's just trying to get a little bit more survivability. Nice stun there onto Lee Sin. Not going to go for the kill. Can't say I blame her there. Ult is up. But honestly, Lee Sin is not exactly the one you want to try to assassinate. That would be Katarina or Twitch. Especially Twitch, because he does so much damage. She's going to go ahead and grab that blue there. Good idea. And she's going to be a good person. By the way, that right there, what she did there is very important. I know a lot of people apparently don't know this, but don't grab blue buff and bring it outside of the blue buff area. If you do that, while you do get the kill, it deprives your jungler of the gold. And that's really crummy, because your jungler goes off and does all that to go ahead and tank it for you and everything else. And it does deny him of any XP from that. Not gold, XP. So, in case you didn't know that, definitely be sure to factor that in if you are actually playing as Syndra. Don't grab the blue buff and bring it out unless you're trying to just be a jerk. Because it really sucks when you're the jungler and you give the blue buff to the mid laner, and she goes off and deprives all of the XP from it. Apparently, a lot of people don't know that, because I noticed in a thread on Reddit about tips and tricks of Syndra, somebody brought that up, and a lot of people were saying, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Honestly, I thought pretty much everyone knew that, so I don't know that I've mentioned it too much before. But I definitely want to go ahead and emphasize that now, as it is very important. These guys are actually going for this. And I'm kind of surprised. Katarina goes ahead and Zhonya's there. And nice kill there by the Riven. But they're doing this right under tower, so they've got to watch out. Syndra is there. Out comes the culling. Oh, sorry, Shyvana's there. Syndra was not there. Syndra's there now. But they were actually able to go ahead and get a kill there onto Morgana. But again, that is the support. So that's not exactly who you want to do. Syndra's coming into play here, though. If she lands a stun on one of them, it will definitely be worth it. Oh, nice. Lands the stun on Lee Sin. Lee Sin is actually going to survive. Out comes the ulti from Syndra, and Katarina was not able to do anything. She just died there. Lucian was also able to secure the kill on the Lee Sin, which is great for them. I definitely think they should go for this tower if possible, but it looks like they're actually going to fall back. I'm very surprised by that. I 100% expected them to go for that tower, as the only defender is Twitch, and given the fact that they mostly all have decent life totals, I 100% expected them to do that, because it's already low, and they could have just gone ahead, shoved the next wave up, and taken down that tower. It would have opened up a lot more space for them, and it would have given them that global gold. But instead, they decided to go ahead and fall back, which, you know, like I said, really surprises me. Syndra's now back to lane. She did go ahead. Let's see, what did she buy? Actually, nothing. She did not buy anything while she was back. She's sitting here with 1,600 gold again. Apparently, she was playing hard mode. Oh, no, now she's going back again. I guess she just got the 1,600. Now we're probably going to see her go back and buy a needlessly large rod. There we go. Sells the health pot, and there we go. Indeed, needlessly large rod comes into play. So we'll probably see her start working on the Rabadons, would be my guess. It might also be a Zhonya's, because Zhonya's is also really strong for mid laners, and honestly a really good item to get. I don't know which one it'll be. My guess is Rabadons, but I could definitely be wrong. I would not be at all surprised, because honestly Zhonya's is really good against that enemy team as well, because they do have a lot of AD. They've got a lot of magic damage as well, but I mean she's already somewhat itemized for anti-magic damage with that Banshees, and I feel like these Zhonya's might actually be pretty decent versus, you know, Twitch and Lee Sin's. Oh man. Oh, he jumps out, does not get stunned, does get slowed though, but I think he is going to get out of this. The slow comes out there as well from the Olaf. Not going to do too much, though. And now Syndra's just kind of trying to come in. Dark Binding misses, and Olaf actually got attacked there. He's immune to stuns, though, right now, so he's going to be fine. And in comes the Lucian. Going to go ahead and just use that ultimate there. Out comes the stun from Syndra. Unfortunately, it lands on Shyvana. Not exactly who you want to land it on. And down goes the Lee Sin. Finally, in goes the Katarina. Does a lot of damage, but doesn't get any kills yet. Out comes that stun from Syndra. Does not follow through. I think she knows that Twitch is here. He's going for the Olaf, and out comes her ult, not able to finish him off. Did she have Ignite? She did not have Ignite. One more spell would have finished him off, but she decided not to. I can't say I blame her. There was a lot of enemies there, and she had to watch out for being attacked. And in go the enemies on her. Misses the stun there on everybody, and the root comes in onto Olaf. He's got to watch out here. Slow does not end up landing, and nice flash by Morgana there. Flashes that ultimate from Ribbon. So nobody died, I think, in there on the blue team, but they did manage to get a couple kills in the red team. Not quite as many as they were hoping, I would say. Katarina forced to jump away, and we do see Syndra going ahead, heading back. Not buying anything. She's coming back to lane, though, with only 480 gold. So maybe she did buy something. Actually, how much does she go back with? There's all that. And she's currently got 440. Okay, so no, she didn't buy anything. She just headed back. I knew she was doing this because of that. Her health and mana are both low. I wasn't sure if there was an alternative reason, but there was not. She's sitting at 460 gold. Currently 2,000 gold ahead of the Katarina, which is a pretty huge difference. And that is definitely good. One thing to think about with the Syndra is that if she does save her stun, once that Katarina jumps in and starts the ulti, she can go ahead and stun that. It will take a little time because she does have to put down the ball and then follow through with the what is that ability name? Scatter the Weak? Scatter the Weak, yeah. She would have to go ahead, plant down the ball, and then scatter the Weak, but even still, she would be able to go ahead and interrupt a decent amount of damage. Honestly, even without the Q, she could still scatter the Weak, and I believe that interrupts the Katarina. So she's good at interrupting it, she's just not so good at landing the abilities, just because Katarina is so good at jumping away. Red team is going for yet another dragon here, and the blue team is again not quite ready for this. They're going to go ahead and let another dragon go through, which, honestly, I don't know that I agree with the number of dragons they've allowed to go through here, because that has really kept the red team in the game. Olaf just died there, and they really lost him for nothing there. They didn't get the dragon, they didn't even pressure the dragon. And they've let every dragon go through so far. I believe they got one earlier, but I'm not actually even sure of that. Not at all sure. And they're just letting the red team stay in the game through that. Riven going for the Katarina. Katarina goes and jumps out. Good idea on her part. She's going to be fine. And Syndra's circling around here. She's going to get caught, though. There we go. In they go. And she's forced to start running away. Gets kicked out, though. Out comes that Braum shield, making sure that the Twitch doesn't do too much damage. Unfortunately, in comes the Katarina, and Syndra's just about dead. Pops her Seraph, but she's still going to die, I believe. Yeah, she does end up going down, but in the meantime, a lot of damage happened there. That ended up being a 2 for 3, so that is definitely worth it for them. In goes the Lucian onto this Shyvana. The Lee Sin was forced back by Riven. Not such a good flash there by the Lucian, but he did chase the Shyvana away. If Riven and Lucian are fast, they can go ahead and get this tower that I mentioned earlier was very surprised they did not already get. And they may actually be able to take down this tower as well. I think probably not, though, honestly. I think Shyvana's going to be able to force them off here. And indeed, we are seeing that's pretty much the case. And, you know, those things regenerate over time, so that damage he did is going to be nullified really quickly here. On the plus side, red team did not manage to go ahead and get that the Baron, which they did ping. So that is definitely good for them. Definitely good for them. On the minus side for the blue team, no wards at Baron. So if the enemy team does go for it, the only way the blue team will know is if this ward picks them up. Which... oh, never mind. Just kidding. Now it's warded. Now they're going to be fine. But previous to that, they would have had to come in, you know, had they walked right along there, I believe they would have been not seen and they could have gotten that Baron for free. Alright, there we go. She is actually still hanging around with just that needlessly large rod. Has not upgraded anything. I don't think she can yet. She might have... no, she could have sold her Doran's ring. But I guess she's going to go ahead and keep that Doran's ring until she absolutely needs that slot. I would have thought she would have gone for the Blasting Wand. Unless she is going for the Zhonya's. I'm not sure about Seeker's Arm Guard. I'm not sure how much that costs. Actually, we could probably see that in just a second here. I don't have the costs memorized here, but it costs 1,160 gold. So no, she could definitely afford that right now. She's got 1,680, and there we go. She is headed back now, but I think she could have afforded it back when she headed back before. So I'm kind of surprised we did not see her go for that. And she's back here now. What is she going to do? Nothing. She came back for, I guess, for mana, because she's not buying or selling anything. I don't know that that's the best of ideas. I mean, I believe that a Blasting Wand would be of more use than Doran's Ring. Or, you know, Seeker's Arm Guard would be of more use than a Doran's Ring. I mean, Seeker's Arm Guard itself gives more AP than does the Doran's Ring. And so does the Blasting Wand. By a lot. So, I'm very confused by her decision to not sell that. I don't know... Maybe she probably has a reason for it that I just don't get. Maybe she's building something that I hadn't factored in. So... or maybe she's wanting to buy something else. I really don't know what's going on there. It just really surprises me. And they're going to be forced to walk away now because there are a lot of minions pushing bot and top. Riven's going to go ahead and push that back top, but nobody's headed bot yet. So they may end up losing that tower. Lucian, gonna go ahead and head down there now. And they actually shoved this out beforehand. And Syndra, of course, was really instrumental in that because she's able to shove really fast. So they were... apparently not. I was about to say they would have been able to go ahead and have Lucian clear that wave and get back here before the enemies got to the tower. Because they would have had to clear this wave as well. But it looks like Lucian changed his mind and decided to go for red. Which, given the aggressiveness of this blue team, may end up causing some problems here. Now, Lucian's almost back now. They didn't lose that tower on the plus side, so there's no global gold there for the red team. And they are all together here. Nice dodge there. And a good dodge again. Putting her balls down, trying to make sure to, you know, just spread that out a little. And make sure she's got as many balls as possible if she ever lands a stun. Which she's trying very hard to do. They're just being very good about dodging it. Which, I mean, it is Diamond, so I can't say I'm too surprised. Ooh, Shyvana is definitely going out there, but she's not somebody you want to blow everything on, so she was actually pretty safe here. Had the enemy team followed through, then we would have seen pretty nasty fight there, and I'm guessing that the Syndra ult will probably be for Twitch, but it definitely could be for Katarina as well. I'm not altogether certain there. The stun comes out onto the Shyvana. Lee Sin goes in. Out comes the little Lucian culling. Does a decent amount of damage to the Lee Sin. Not going to be enough to finish it off, though. And, oh! Dark Binding hits the Riven there. Doesn't do too much, though, as the Riven was able to get out of the tormented soil before it landed. And, again, that top is being shoved. Out comes the Braum ulti. Hits nothing. And somebody's going to be forced to head top, as unfortunately, when Riven went up there, she did not manage to go ahead and shove that wave. And this may mean a lost tower here for the blue team. They are falling back now, yes. Lands the stun there onto Lee Sin, but they are forced to fall back because they're not going to be able to defend that. They are not enough. The Braum got a little too chunked, as did, I believe, the Olaf. Although he's actually okay now. But That meant that they had to fall back there. Again, there is that dragon. And the question is, will we see them? Oh, out comes the kick there from Lee Sin. Lands and gonna be countered by that Lucian ulti, which actually did a lot of damage there to them Morgana. Morgana just about died. They're going for the tower, the dragon now, and Syndra is actually not even close. She's going for blue buff. So this is going to be yet another uncontested dragon for the red team. Blue team said, hey, let's go for Baron, and they are actually headed straight there. No wards from the red team. But, of course, the red team immediately knew it. Oh, they're camping out in this bush, though. Oh, Riven goes in. Twitch is stealth again. And he may be able to do some damage here. No, he's just going to keep walking. Just keep walking. So, all of that hiding ended up for pretty much nothing there. Yeah, had they been able to land the stun on Twitch and break him out of his stealth, then yeah, it actually would have been worth it. But unfortunately for them, they came out a little too soon. And they came out when only Twitch was there. So he ended up being able to easily get through that. If they'd had like a pink ward here and sat in that bush, they probably would have ended up killing him. But instead they had the pink ward over here, of course, to go ahead and clear out the wards, which I don't blame them at all. But it probably would have been better to have at least another pink ward here, just to go ahead and get rid of that Twitch. They're headed again up to the Baron. It's warded by the red team. Gonna go ahead and clear that ward out. Not really surprising there. And are they gonna go for this? Syndra is, of course, shoving mid, making sure that wave goes out to, give the red team a little bit to keep track of. And Braum is just warding around as well. Interestingly, Twitch is actually bot. He just showed, and that told the red team, or the blue team, immediately, hey, time to go in. And that's exactly what they did. Syndra is a little out of position here, was continuing to just kind of hover around mid. So she was not ready for this. She lands the stun on Morgana here. This Baron. Oh! Nice! Steal from Lee Sin. Means that goes to the red team. And Katarina jumps in, starts decimating. Out comes that punt there from Syndra. Not able to do anything, though. And actually, I think the red team just won that battle big time there. Syndra still actually fairly low. Does not lands the stun onto the Katarina there. So she was not able to finish off, but finally in comes the Twitch. Brahm's shield goes down and ends up melting there. Nice stun again from Syndra, but unfortunately for her, it was not enough. And she did actually go down to Katarina. And they're going to lose their tower for that. There's a really good team fight there by the red team. One big thing of what happened there is that the blue team obviously was tanking Baron, which gives them that magic debuff. So Katarina was able to get in there and just rip them into shreds because, she's not super fed, but she is actually decently fed. And of course, once she starts going in, she just destroys them. Syndra does actually have Rabadons, and she just got Void Staff. I just saw her buy it just now. So that's going to help them quite a bit. Well, again, I'm still confused as to why she didn't buy the Blasting Wand sooner. I guess she wanted the Dorans for the health? But I don't know. I feel like it would have been better to have that Blasting Wand for the extra damage. I don't know. Maybe that's why I am silver and she is diamond. Don't know. Anyway, though, she is finally back alive. Entire blue team is back up. The problem for the blue team is that through all those dragons and everything else, they actually lost their gold lead. They are now behind in gold. And even though they're ahead in towers, they've given up so many dragons to the red team. And then, of course, that Baron there did not help at all. Lee Sin managing to smite steal that was very good by his part. But really bad for the blue team. Because that just put them further ahead. And they still have that buff as well, of course. Because, none of them died afterwards. Still have about half of the buff. Blue goes to the Katarina there. Gonna help that cooldown reduction. If we look at her cooldown reduction, what does she actually have? I don't know. I'm not sure if you could tell that. I guess not. And the blue team is definitely on the defensive here. We see Syndra just kind of hovering around mid and actually being very cautious here. Twitch is going to go ahead and stealth his way out of this. Actually runs across the Olaf. Olaf thinks he went the other way though. And now we actually see some of the blue team coming up here. Syndra and Braum are not, and Riven, of course, is way down here. Syndra appears to be headed down bottom to counteract this. You know, the blue team did get a decent amount of damage on that tower, but again, that heals. And the fact that, you know, they weren't all there means that Lucian's now in trouble. Gonna use the culling to hurt Shyvana some, but it's not nearly enough. And now the rest of the red team is coming here. Katarina's coming up from behind, and Syndra and Braum are still really far away. Down goes Olaf, and now finally in comes Syndra and Braum, but it's a little late for that because they've lost their team there. And, I mean, they saved their tower, but honestly, I don't think that tower was in any danger of going down. They, I believe, saw the enemy team going back, so they really should have immediately went to go group with their team, but instead they decided to head back. And they lost Olaf for it, and now they're losing another tower for it as well because they can't fight this. Not in a 3 versus 5. Lucian's forced to go ahead and defend that top now, and oh man, you guys gotta watch out. Still 3 versus 5. And there we go. Ping's coming in again on that bot lane, saying, "Hey, let's go ahead and take that." Syndra is actually fully built. She just finished out her Oracle's Lens, which is actually really good versus Twitch, of course. And I guess from now on, we'll probably see her start buying potions. I'm not sure exactly how much they cost. Let's follow her, and look at blue potion here. Blue potion. Not really much to watch here, as they're all just walking around, clearing out the jungle and stuff. So there's not too much action at the moment. Elixir of... there we go. Elixir of Brilliance. They are 350 gold. No, Elixir of Brilliance is 250 gold. So yeah, Syndra could have bought that. What she did. Oh, never mind, she did. Okay, good. She just did. Well, good. Called that one then. That is another dragon, unfortunately, for the red team. Again, that is huge. They have taken so many of these dragons just completely uncontested. I don't blame blue team for not contesting this dragon, as it's a little bit late for that. But those earlier dragons, they needed to contest those because they had a lead. They had a lead, and they just let the enemy team go ahead and grab the dragons and just completely negated that lead. Now we see multiple conflicting calls here. It looks like somebody wants to go push mid, and the rest of the team says, no, we need to defend this. So Lucian's finally on his way down, but unfortunately for them, again, they're split up. And Olaf, not too bad. He's not too far out here. Just doing as much as he can to go ahead and do damage to people, make sure they don't get it going on this tower. Oh, did that land? I did not land. She was able to dodge out of that. Those are so cool looking. I like them. Alright. Syndra, of course, keeping the balls set up so that she can scatter the weak, hopefully stun multiple people at once. And of course, so she's got the balls to go ahead and do even more damage. That just sounds so weird to say. Oh, that just barely missed. And now we see the red team going for this tower. And, oh, they just blew everything onto Morgana. Why would you ulti Morgana? Morgana's now dead on the plus side, but the rest of this team is destroying them. Down goes the Katarina as well to the Syndra, but Twitch is actually not going to take anyone down. It was a 2-for-1 there. So the blue team actually did come out of that one ahead. Riven's coming back with her home guards there. Syndra does not have home guards, so she's going to be a little bit slower. They're going for this now. Riven's able to take down the Twitch. They're going for the Shyvana as well. She is not going to get out of this. Yep, she goes down as well. Now the blue team should be able to push to win. They've got a 60-second timer on both Twitch and Shyvana. I honestly cannot see them not being able to win this. They're shoving it up as fast as they can. Everybody is here. They're missing Olaf, but that's not really a big deal. With Lee Sin being up, they might not be able to take it all. They are going to be able to get this tower. Lee Sin's going to do as much as he can, but they're going to be able to get this tower. They're going to be able to get the inhib. And honestly, I think they should should be able to go for the win. They land a stun there onto the Lee Sin. He's able to jump out, but they should be able to get at least one of these towers down. And down it goes indeed. The stun comes out, and down goes the Lee Sin. Down goes the Katarina. Well, no, she goes ahead and Zonya's there. She's going to survive and gets the reset. Stun comes out from Syndra, and she's not able to finish off the Katarina. And unfortunately, Katarina was able to get a quadra kill there. That may have just been GG in the other direction. That may have been GG in the other direction. They were not able to kill that Katarina, and she was able to do so much damage to them. Teleport coming in down bottom here. Shyvana's going for the inhib. There's another inhib up here. And Olaf is actually a little out of place here. He's coming back now to go for this. Another teleport coming in here from the Katarina. They're going for this inhib. Olaf... I don't know what Olaf's doing. He's just kind of hanging around. But they're going to lose that inhib. He's coming around from behind now. The Lucian's up in 20. Syndra is up in 27. They actually might be up because the red team has no minions here. So they're not going to be able to finish this off. Olaf just died, though. With Olaf dying there, that may have been the death knell for this team because that is a 70-second cooldown. Had he just kind of chilled out back here, he would have been up still right now. And the blue team might have been able to win this because Lee Sin is nowhere near. So it would have been a 5 versus 4. They would have been able to come out of this. But unfortunately for them, he ended up going down. And that's not going to be the case. It's currently a 4 versus 5. And we see the red team again going for Baron. Blue team's not going to be able to stop that. It looks like they're calling for a shove mid. Honestly, if they did so really fast, they actually might be able to do so. If they rush it and just ignore the minions and go for the tower. That's about their only chance right now. No, it's not even a chance. It's not even a chance. The red team took down that Baron way too fast for that. Blue team's continuing to shove this, and they're about to get caught. They're also sticking around to go ahead and take down the minions. And yeah, I don't think this is going to turn out well for them. Lee Sin's coming around from behind, and the rest of the red team's coming around from ahead. Olaf is up in 5, though, so if they can group... I mean, even if they group, they're still going to be against a fully Baroned enemy. So, I don't know what they're going to be able to do against this. They've lost all of their inhibs, so they're going to be forced to stick around in their base. They still have their double towers, but it's going to be really hard to defend this. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. They're going to have to defend at double towers. If they defend anywhere else, it's going to be GG. Because they're not going to be able to defend anywhere else. For now, keeping the minions away is definitely a good thing. But they've got to watch out and not be engaged on. And they're a little too far out here, in my opinion. If Lee Sin manages to do the whole insect thing, then they could end up just losing everything right here. They are indeed falling back now, and minions are pouring in. The thing is, I mean, even with this, there's a lot of minions here. So they're going to be taking a lot of damage from those minions, which is not going to help them at all. They are slowly retreating back to their tower, and the red team is just shoving this in. There we go. Out comes the culling. Riven got caught out there. Down goes her... Yeah, that thing, but she still ends up going down. Katarina going in, melting the Lucian. Out comes her Zonya's. The Syndra got really low there, and... Oh, down goes the Katarina. I don't know that it really matters, though. I don't think it does, no. The rest of the red team was able to mop up those towers, and that's actually going to be GG for the red team. Olaf is stuck on the outside of the base. And yeah, that's the end. Wow. So that is going to be the end of this game. That was a red team victory, not a blue team victory. I do hope you guys enjoyed this one. Again, if you have anybody else you want to watch, let me know. I'm more than happy to go ahead and look them up, especially with OPGG. Now, I can go ahead and find pretty much anybody. So yeah, just definitely let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and have a good night. Bye.